I just want to thank you all for coming. I think this is an important issue, and Phil, who is the head of our Bureau of Veterans, wanted to get the message out. But right now, we have some special guests. But also before I get started, I'd like to thank Crestwood Village Residents Club for the cake and coffee and helping out in Village 6. I think it's really nice of them to help us. We have some special guests, and why they're here. We have Commissioner Gary Quinn. He is over the veterans in Ocean County right now. We also have Senator Romano will be here momentarily, who wants to represent, obviously, our senators and have information. Also, we have Senator Rumpf, who's over the veterans in Trenton, sorry. We also have as a speaker, Mayor Arrays. But right now, I'd like to bring up our Commissioner, Gary Quinn from Ocean County.
Well, thank you very much to Judy Noonan for putting this together. I know Judy does a tremendous amount out here in the villages to take and work with all of the seniors population that we have here in Manchester Township. And I have to also be it's a very important thing for me to take and thank Mayor Arrays for bringing Judy on board when he took over as the mayor in the township, because between the two of them, they truly go above and beyond for the residents, not only in Manchester Township, but for people throughout the entire county. To the vets, thank you for your service. We can't thank you enough. Everything that we live and breathe every day is because of everything you did for us in the past years. And we certainly owe you a tremendous gratitude for everything that you've done. Today, we're going to be here, like Judy said, there's some other special guests that we have here. I see the senators just walking in, the assemblyman is here. We have, the most important thing today is Phil Zimmerman is here. He's the head of the Department of Veterans Affairs here in Ocean County. When I took over the Veterans Affairs office about 3 years ago, the office really wasn't running to the level that I thought was important to represent each and every one of you and to go to bat for each and every one of you with all the things that we offer through the federal government, the state government, through the county government that you should be aware of. So I had brought Phil on board 3 years ago. And I have to tell you folks, in the 3 years he's been there, he's done a tremendous amount to change the department, bring on new staffing, expand our offices throughout different locations in the county, and get out there and work each and every day with his staff, and himself, doing what's best to try and help each and every one of you. I don't know if everyone's aware of all the services that we offer, but Phil's going to be able to speak on that himself right now. Some of the stuff that we do, I know he's going to talk about scams, because we have a lot of that going out on the Ocean County area these days. It's just very, very important that we represent you, we work for each and every one of you in government. The nice thing about government, whether it be at the state level, whether it be the municipal level, or whether it be at the county level, we all take and work together. We're all part of the same team, representing you, working for you. So please listen to what is going to be talked about today. Make sure if you have any questions, whether you ask the questions during the presentation or whether you ask the questions after the presentation, one-on-one, ask those questions, because we want to help you. It's our job to be out there doing whatever we can. Phil has brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars since he took over for different vets on their claims, and I think people have to be aware of the fact that you might not think there's anything out there you're entitled to, but believe me, folks, there's a lot out there that you're entitled to for all of the service that you provided to this country. So please enjoy the presentation. Again, thanks to each and every one of you for your service, and thanks for being here today. Special thanks to the girls walking up to steal the mic from me. Thanks, folks.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. He helps a lot. Our next speaker is Assemblyman Rumpf, who is over the vets in Trenton. Again, this is a very important issue. That's why Phil wanted this to happen. And these people are on big support with this. I give you Assemblyman Rumpf.
Thank you so much, Judy. And Judy does so much, not only for the citizens of Manchester, but for seniors and veterans throughout Ocean County. It's greatly appreciated, Judy. My name's Brian Rumpf. For those of you I haven't met, I have the distinct pleasure of working with Senator Carmen Amato, Assemblyman Greg Meyer. We are your 9th District State Representatives. We were redistricted so that we now represent Manchester. We now represent Crestwood 6 in the state legislature. I also have the distinct honor of being on the Veteran and Military Affairs Committee in the state legislature. And that's the committee where legislation is constantly being introduced, generally speaking, to improve the lives and the benefits that veterans receive. We've heard a lot of testimony already this year. One of the most common concerns is the availability of transportation to allow our veterans throughout the state, particularly those in South Jersey, to access VA benefits. We know how difficult it is to get to East Orange or to Delaware or Philadelphia, and I'm so pleased to know that, as Director Zimmerman is shortly going to be pointing out, that we now have a resource shortly opening up right here in Toms River. But we need to do more as a state. We need to do more not only on issues of transportation, but on quality of life issues and matters affecting your pocketbook. One particular piece of legislation that Senator Amato, Assemblyman Meyer, and myself have been advocating strongly for is to increase the veterans tax deduction, which currently, as you know, has been stuck at $250, $500. We're looking to raise that to $2,500 a year over the next 4 years. It's going to be a gradual, thank you. It's going to be a gradual increase, but we're very hopeful to get bipartisan support on that particular piece of legislation. But perhaps the most important reason for me to be here, other than to say hello and to thank all of you for your service, is also to remind you that our district office stands ready to help you with any concerns that you may have, particularly on the state level. We have one of our constituent aides, Matt Adio, standing to the side there. We have a table set up in the back with a lot of information that may be of benefit to the veterans and others in the community. Please stop by, pick it up. If you'd like to receive regular updates on legislation we are considering, sign up to be on our email list. We won't bother you with anything that doesn't pertain to what will affect you in New Jersey. And we are hopeful that we're going to see a lot of good things happening in the months and the years ahead that directly affect our great veterans. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Judy, for everything you do.
My pleasure. He did mention transportation. I did neglect, we have vets transportation. Carmen is here. I understand that's a big issue, and he's in the back if you have any questions for him on transportation. Correct, Carmen? I didn't want to forget about that. And also, one little, we have the mobile unit coming to Village 6, November 1st. That's for the ID. You have to go online. But if you're vets, you can walk in. I forgot to tell you about that. It's written on the flyer, but if you're a vet and you don't want to go online, you can walk in. Now, it gives me a pleasure next time to introduce you to Carmen Amato. Senator?
See, they had the mic set for people my height. Commissioner. First of all, good morning. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for the honor for giving me 2 or 3 minutes to say hello. It's very important, as Brian, my district mate, Assemblyman Brian Rumpf had mentioned, you know, Berkeley Township, Manchester Township, Ocean County are the biggest number of veterans in the state of New Jersey. Number one, Ocean County, Berkeley Township, Manchester Township. Number one in the state of New Jersey. So we have a great director in Phil Zimmerman who has probably had a lot to say, so I'll be as brief as I can. But on the state level, as Assemblyman Rumpf had mentioned, we want to make sure that we're there for our veterans, we're there for our seniors, we're there for our most vulnerable. There's a lot of legislation recently that we're signing on to that are going to benefit the veterans. The first one that Assemblyman Rumpf had mentioned was the property tax deduction. Hasn't increased since 2000, 24 years ago. We all know, has the economy or has inflation stayed the same as it was 24 years ago? No. So it's very important that we do that, and we're going to continue to do that to provide services for our veterans. As was already mentioned, back in the back table, We have white bags, so when this is over, please grab a white bag. Has a lot of information in there from our district office. As Assemblyman Rumpf had mentioned, you know, for the last 10 years, Manchester was under a different district, the 10th legislative district. Under redistricting, now you're in the 9th, back in the 9th legislative district. So that's why we appreciate Judy Noonan for allowing us just to say a few words and to have some information, because it's very important that we are accessible to you. We want to be accessible to you. We want you to use this as a resource for state, no matter what it is, whether it's Easy Pass, veterans benefits, property tax relief. Now, most of you, I'm sure, have received, if you need information on the PTR, which is the senior freeze, we have the blue booklets in the back. The deadline is at the end of this month. If you're not familiar with the senior freeze, please see us afterwards. And of course, the other huge property tax program that's available here in the state is the Anchor program. So the state keeps telling us they're going to roll out the Anchor program and start sending out checks soon. So hopefully some of you already received them. If you didn't, be patient, because there's probably 2 million people in the state that are eligible for the Anchor program, so they're going to roll it out on a rolling basis, obviously. So we want to make sure that you get every dollar that you're entitled to from the state of New Jersey, because we all know the state of New Jersey has no problem collecting the money from us, correct? So one of the things that we pride ourselves on is to make sure, we want to make sure you get that money back. So if you have any questions afterwards, whether it's the veterans, whether it's senior freeze, or whether it's the Anchor program, we'll be happy to answer. And please sign up for our emails. As Assemblyman Rumpf said, we send them out every 3 to 4 weeks, and it's all strictly just giving you an update of what's been going on in Trenton, what we think you should know, what you should lobby for, or what you should make phone calls to, whether it's the governor's office or such, and so on and so forth. So thank you so very much for the opportunity to say hello, and we'll be available to answer any questions afterwards. Thank you all for your service to our great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Our next speaker, of course, it's one of my favorites, is the Mayor of Manchester, Robert Arace.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. You know, one thing I'd like to say, Judy has been a tremendous asset, I think, not only to the senior community, but also to veterans. So she pours her heart into this every single day, and I'd like to give her a round of applause for all of her great work. On the campaign trail, and about 2 years ago, we've embarked on a journey to provide better services to veterans, especially in Whiting. We heard a lot of the times, obviously Manchester, tied first and second place with Berkeley. A lot of the times it's very difficult for veterans, especially Whiting and the western part of Ocean, to go all the way to Toms River for benefits. So something that I heard repeatedly was that they really would have liked a regional location somewhere in Whiting to go to. Last year, with Judy's help, and especially Commissioner Quinn and directors Phil Zimmerman, we were able to actually create a satellite office in Whiting. So I hope everyone has been able to use that to date, but that provides benefits for veterans, survivors, and really provides assistance to folks so they don't have to go so far. So it's become incredibly important to the township to provide that service to the veterans. I'm very happy to welcome you here today. I hope you'll find the information from Director Zimmerman valuable, and if you have any questions post the presentation, I'd be very happy to answer them. I'll be here the remainder of the time. And with that said, I'm very proud to announce a U.S. Navy veteran himself to come and present information to us, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. Let's welcome Mr. Phil Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, with your indulgence, I'd like to do something I've always wanted to do. Judy, Judy, Judy. How was that? Good morning, everybody. My name is Phil Zimmerman. I'm the director of the Ocean County Veterans Service Bureau. It's my great privilege to lead a fantastic team of dedicated veteran service officers and support staff to try to provide the assistance that our veteran community needs. A lot of veterans, we're kind of a little bit on the thick-headed side and stubborn side, but how many would agree with that? Would we agree? How many Army veterans are in here? Oh, okay. Navy veterans. Marine Corps veterans. Quite a few, right? Air Force veterans. Ah! Coast Guard. Space Force. No, not yet. Nobody there. But we're here. Oh, what about this? Public service. How many of you understand that public service officers are veterans? Did you know that? No. They are all, we have had at least 6 in Ocean County that we have provided veteran services for. Veteran services, the veteran benefits, I should say, are open to all veterans. We have a right to apply for the benefits that are out there. But we have to be eligible for the benefits that are out there. When I said that veterans are kind of hard-headed and stubborn, which we all are, myself included, how many of you heard this phrase? I don't want to take away from somebody who needs it more than me. How many? We hear it all the time. But that's a problem. Because when they say that, what they're doing is they're taking away from themselves and from their families. Every veteran is taken care of. Every veteran has the right to apply, and if there's a benefit that they're eligible for, they're going to get it. But when you don't apply for it, you're only hurting yourself and your family. You cannot understand how many times we have had to take calls from a family that says, my dad is on hospice. He never applied for any VA benefits. What can the VA do for him now? It's late. It's late in the game. It's beyond the 11th hour. It's the 11:59 point, and it's very difficult to try to get the VA to move quickly. Anyone who has engaged the VA understands that it's not a fast process. It's aggravating, it's frustrating, it's annoying, and sometimes you just want to throw your hands up in the air and say, forget it. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. The struggle is worth it. It's necessary. We need this benefit. It's not something we're getting willy-nilly. By the fact that we raised our hand and served this great country, we're entitled to certain things. Not, everything. We're not going to win the $1 million lottery. But if there are conditions that we suffered as a result of our military service, those who served in Vietnam have a litany of potential problems that they may encounter in their life. Those who serve at Camp Lejeune, with the toxic water there, they have problems. Our forces that served in the Middle East have a number of problems that they can develop over their lifespan. It's really important that there are advocates out there. Ocean County is very lucky that we have a dynamic and very active veteran service office. Our main office is in Toms River, but we have satellites in Manahawkin and in Whiting. In Whiting, it's about 1 year. It's a 1-year anniversary this week that we've been there. So it's really important for us to have this outreach to the community, because if you can't get to us, we got to get to you. We got to be available for you. And what we try to do is we try to engage you as the veteran or the veteran's surviving spouses and dependents to make sure that you are aware of the benefits that are out there. For a long time, the VA was not very active in telling people what was out there for you. And a lot of times you heard it by word of mouth. Remember Rula Lenska? Remember the old Prel commercial from the 70s? Right? You tell 2 people, and they tell 2 people, and so on, and so on, and so on. That's how basically people got word of veteran benefits. We can't afford that anymore. We got to make sure that you know that the benefits are out there and that you're entitled to something. Many times we'll get a surviving spouse whose husband died of a Vietnam-related condition, and they're like, they never knew that there was a benefit for them. So what we're trying to do is make ourselves more accessible to communities like this, to make sure that we are out there telling you what might be possible. So I always tell people this: if you want to invite me somewhere, I will go to the opening of an envelope to share the news about what benefits are out there. It's really important. It's really important that you know. And it's important that the right people are doing the claims for you. Now, today, I'm going to divide this into two parts, talking about what kind of benefits there are, and then I'm going to give you a proviso, a warning, because there are unfortunately people out there who have no right filing VA claims who are doing it, and they are charging you, and that is illegal. But let's stick with what benefits are out there. We have educational benefits, right? We have survivor's benefits. If a person died of a service-connected condition, it's called dependency and indemnity compensation. For wartime veterans, there are a program, it's a survivor's benefit or survivor's pension. It's called the improved pension. It's based upon income, assets, and wartime status of the veteran. But for the veteran, there are disability claims. Anything from tinnitus, which is a ringing, humming, buzzing in your ears, to cancers. You know, when you look at Vietnam, we're looking at some very severe cancers: bladder cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer. You know, with the PACT Act, which was a gift, the gift of the PACT Act. The PACT Act opened wide the gates of eligibility for veterans. It's very important. It's probably the most significant veteran legislation we've seen in years, because it really opened wide the possibility of veterans getting benefits. We have seen our workload treble since the PACT Act came into existence. And it's a good thing, because people who were previously denied benefits are now getting them, the benefits that they deserve. You know, when we are 18, 17, 18, 19 and join the military, you know, our heads are made of rubber and our tails are made of springs, and we're okay. But then later in life, some weird things begin happening to us. And we're like, where did that come from? You know, nobody in my family has this condition. You know, I don't smoke. How do I have these diseases? Well, unfortunately, because of exposures, you know, you may have, you know, and I'll use myself as an example. I have lung disease as a result of my service on board 9 different ships. I never smoked a day in my life, and I used to be told, you gotta stop smoking. Well, that's great, I never started, you know. But what we do is we look to see if there is the possibility that these conditions that you may be encountering may be related to your military service. You know, when it comes to filing a VA claim, there's 3 things that matter. The rule of law. What is the law concerning your condition? The rule of evidence. Evidence is very important, because they're not going to the VA is not going to give you money because they like you. They don't like anybody, you know. It's the government. No, we're keeping that to ourselves. But the most important thing is the rule of possibility. The rule of possibility. Normally when you deal with legal matters, you have to have a preponderance of evidence, right? It's got to be more likely than not. But that's not the threshold for the VA. The threshold for the VA is as least likely as not. Now that sounds really weird. That sounds really weird, but it's a legal term. And what it means is 50-50. The possibility, not the probability. Is it possible that this condition is related to military service? That's how we win the day. Now, I would tell you this. If you're one of those stubborn vets who does not want to apply for a VA claim, you ever see the movie Moonstruck? All right, Nicolas Cage movie, right? And Cher. And what does Cher do? He's pining in love with Cher, right? And she reaches up and slaps him upside the head and says, what? Snap out of it. So I need you to snap out of that mentality. And I need you to reach out to us. And if not us, there are other agencies that you can reach out to. New Jersey Department of Military and Veteran Affairs, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, DAV. These are trusted agencies that you can go to. These are the trusted agencies you can go to. Not one of them is going to charge you. Because at the end of the day, it's illegal to charge you for veteran services. I'm very proud of the work that we do. We have 16,000 clients. That's a lot. And as the Congressman told us, oh, Congressman, Senator? Senators, look at that. I better go back to school here. As the senator said, you know, we have the largest number of veterans in the state of New Jersey. The largest number. And so we have to make sure that we provide as good of a service as we can for these veterans, our brothers and sisters, because we have a duty, a moral duty, an obligation, a responsibility to make sure that we take care of each other. Because if we don't, who will? We want to make sure that we do the job and do the job right. And I think we do a damn good job at it. So I'm very proud, and I'm very happy that one of my colleagues, Mike Colicchio, a Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart recipient, is a dynamic veteran service officer who's been with me for a number of years, and he has done such a great job in helping me as we prosecute these claims. So, please, if you haven't reached out, you want to reach out. You're not asking for a hand out, you're looking for a hand up, and that's what we're here for. You know, we are judgment-free, we are here, we are objective, we try to do our best to make sure that you get the benefit that you're entitled to. And if you're not entitled to it, we're going to tell you that, because every once in a while that does happen. But we're going to do our best to make sure you get what you are entitled to. We want you in the healthcare system. And as we're bringing up the healthcare system, finally, on October 22nd, the clinic in Toms River opens. Yes, that's good news, isn't it? And there's parking. We don't have to park on the curbs. We don't have to park on the grass or the dirt. There's actual parking that they're going to have there. It's going to be a phenomenal thing. It's about 4 times the size of the brick clinic. So we're looking forward to it opening. There will be a ribbon cutting ceremony sometime in November. We just don't know what the date is yet. But they're having a soft opening on the 22nd. And that's really important for us that the operation begin. It's going to make things a little bit more convenient for people just to be closer, because you're going to be a lot closer to us. You know, we're going to be a spitting distance from you. Because as they're opening, we're getting ready to open our new building as well. The Ocean County Resource Center. I'm sure if you've driven past, you've seen the buildings going up. We move in on the 16th and 17th of November, and we begin operations on the 18th. So we're up and ready to go. So we have a lot of activity going on here, and it's good. And it's good that we're here talking to you, letting you know that we're here for you, and whatever we can do, we're going to do for you. It's our privilege, it's our honor, and it's our responsibility to take care of our brothers and sisters. And we're going to do just that. So the other reason why we're here is this. Look at this sign here. Don't feed the sharks. All right. What is a claim shark? A claim shark is someone who is out there charging for veteran services. Now, they have names that seem like they're legitimate, but I'll tell you what, there are only 3 types of individuals who can legally file VA claims for you. A veteran service officer, an accredited veteran service officer. You hear that word, accredited? We're accredited by the General Counsel of the VA. So an accredited veteran service officer, like myself, we are allowed to file claims, but we are not allowed to charge. An accredited agent. An accredited agent is allowed to charge, but only for appeals, never for an initial claim. And the last one is interesting, an accredited VA recognized attorney. Not every attorney, a VA accredited attorney. These are the 3 that are allowed to do claims for you legally. Now, unfortunately, there are agencies out there, they seem like they're legitimate, they have names that have the word veteran in it, but they're not. They're not legitimate. And you know they're not legitimate because when you file a VA claim, the very first thing that the VSO or the agent or the attorney is going to do is have you sign a limited power of attorney. And that limited power of attorney does nothing more than allows you to legally represent the veteran or the veteran's surviving spouse or dependent to the VA. It doesn't give us access to any of your private information or anything like that, your banking information, your estate and stuff like that. No, it just allows us to be your voice to the VA. These agencies that are not accredited won't offer you that option because they can't. Our names are listed in the General Counsel's website search. If you did an accreditation search, you're going to find my name there. But some of these agencies, you're not going to find them because they are not legitimate. And they do a lot of harm. Last year, we had about 61 people who were harmed by claim sharks. 61. What they did is they filed VA claims for them. These people weren't really entitled to these claims, and as a result, the VA wanted their money back. One claim went as high as $149,000. We began recognizing that this was becoming a problem about 2 years ago. And then we started looking at what could we do to combat this. And education is the biggest thing we can do, to educate you so that you are aware that unfortunately these people are out there taking advantage of our communities. And unfortunately, they seem to be taking advantage of the senior population. And this is a truly disgusting thing for me, because what they're doing is they're taking people who may be suffering from financial hardship, making them a promise that they're going to give them all this money, and then all of a sudden that money is pulled back from them. Now I'll tell you what, we all know that when you owe Uncle Sam is going to get his money. The government will collect its money back. And it's a terrible thing when this happens. Now, what we do is when we get these problems, we will try to work with the VA, the debt management office, to see how we can mitigate the pain, the suffering that the person is going to have to go through. Because a lot of people just simply cannot afford to give huge dollar amounts back to the government. And in some cases, we try to see if we can get it waived because they were taking advantage of. They didn't know. But listen, when something sounds too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true. And to use another really bad analogy, if it looks like a duck if it looks like a duck and acts like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But not always. Not always. And you have to be very careful. You have to be very alert. You have to know what questions to ask. Are you accredited? Oh, no, but we work with accredited people. Who are these accredited people? Who are they? We need to know who they are. Because if they are not on the General Counsel's list, they are not able to help you legally. 2 weeks ago, I had 3 people come into my office and they said, we're going to start this business and we're going to do this. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. I said, you will not do that. I said, you will not do any of the things that you just pointed out to me. Because if you do, you will be referred to Consumer Affairs. Now, here's something that's really good. Last year, Governor Murphy signed a law that prohibits non-accredited individuals from charging for veteran services. That is a fantastic thing. That is a fantastic thing because it finally puts teeth into this game. Also, the VA has finally recognized that they have, for a long time, really allowed this to happen. And finally saying, enough. There's too many of the claim sharks out there. Too many of them. And so they have also begun taking action. So if you feel that you've been taken advantage of by any of these claim sharks, and I'm not going to name and shame them because by their own actions they shame themselves. If you feel that you've been taken advantage of by one of these agencies that are not accredited, you need to reach out to us, and if not to us, to the VFW, to the American Legion, to DMAVA, because we want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of and that you're not harmed. And that's our responsibility to you. Our goal is to mitigate them, to eliminate them. We've chased 4 of the companies out of the state. And I'm very happy about that because they were charging insane fees, $10,000, to help out a veteran. When these services are absolutely free, absolutely free. Where we have a big problem is there are agencies that sell something called aid and attendance. We call that the improved pension. What they do is they say, oh, we can get you there, we can get you the money. Well, you might be able to get the money, but is the veteran actually going to be able to keep it? Were they really eligible for it? And I'm going to give you a really good example of one who was not eligible for it. A widow called me up and said, I got this pension. I don't think I'm really eligible for it. And I said, why do you think that? Well, this is my income. I said, so far, income seems all right. My husband was a Korean War vet. All right, that's two things that sound okay. The third thing she said is, I have $4 million in the bank. No, you are not eligible for the pension. You got to give that money back. And she did. She said, I felt bad about it, but they told me not to tell them that I had that money. Non-disclosure is not a very smart thing. Why? Because the VA has access to quite a few resources. They'll hit Social Security, they'll hit the IRS, the VA, and a few other buttons. So they're going to find out if, in fact, you do have those resources. So scrupulous people know what they're entitled to. And then we have unscrupulous people who might try to game the system, but then we also have innocent people who think that they're entitled to something. We want to make sure if you get something from the VA, you're entitled to it, and that's something that stays with you for the rest of your life. That's all we're trying to do. We don't want you to feed the sharks. Every time I see these people, I hear the theme from Jaws playing in my head. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, we're here to help you. They're not. They're here to help themselves. Don't fall victim to that, please. So if you need help, you reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. You spend your money as you see fit. But there's an old Latin saying that I like to think of, caveat emptor. How many people know that phrase? Caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. Caveat emptor. So I want you to be that guy, that very wise consumer who says, let me think about this. Let me think about this. Is this legitimate? Is this right? And then if you have doubts, you reach out to the office. Now we're never, like I said, we're never going to name and shame anybody. We let their own actions name and shame them. But we will take, if they do hurt any of our community, we will go after them. And I will tell you this, I am not forgiving when it comes to a veteran being harmed. I will not forgive, I will not forget, and I will not let go until they're prosecuted. It's that simple, that simple. So you have my commitment to that. We will not allow that to happen to any one of you, because if we do, then we have failed our job. We have failed at our job to protect our community, and that will not happen as long as I'm director. I'm very proud that we have a fantastic commissioner liaison in Gary Quinn. He's been very supportive over the years. He's allowed me to stretch, because I think we need to be everywhere we can. And a lot with a limited staff, we do the very best that we can in locations where we are operating. But Gary shares the vision that we have to be out there. We have to be out there to protect our community and for our community to know about us and what we're doing. So we're very, very fortunate to have him as our liaison. And he's been very helpful in listening to my ideas and guiding me along when I needed to be guided. So I really appreciate everything you've done for me. And I'm going to announce something here that I'm very proud of. We want to make sure that Ocean County Veteran Services continues to expand our outreach. So we're going to create something with the Commissioner's guidance and blessing and leadership, and we are going to create a county-level Veterans Commission. You hear that? A county-level Veterans Commission. Every community has a veteran committee or commission, but we're going to create a county-level Veteran Commission. And that will encompass all 33 municipalities of Ocean County. And that will include all of the service agencies, because we want the service agencies to be involved. When I say service agencies, I'm talking about the American Legion, the Fleet Reserve, the VFW, DAV. We want them to be involved, and AMVETS. We want them to be involved because we want to hear everybody's voice. But we also want to hear the voices of the Blue Star families and the Gold Star families and the survivors. We want to hear their voices too. And we also want to hear the voices of the incarcerated veteran, because they're out there. They cannot be forgotten. We cannot leave one person behind, and we will not leave one person behind. We're going to make sure that we work together as a team, a county team. Imagine the largest county in the state of New Jersey having a unified voice as a veteran community. Will be heard. You'll be heard, and we'll take action, and we will get things moving forward. We're very lucky that we have a great senator. See, I got it right that time. A great senator, great assemblyman, great commissioner, great board of commissioners, and a dynamic team of VSOs and allies. I look very much at my friends at the VFW, the American Legion, DAV, and the Fleet Reserve as allies in this mission, because together we can do some amazing things. So I want to stop by saying, don't feed the sharks. Let those who are properly accredited do the work for you. That's what we're here for, you know, and we enjoy the work that we do. It's true that if you have a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. And that's how I feel. I love coming into work. I love the challenges that I experience. And nothing makes me feel better if you have a low moment in your life than when a veteran comes in and says, "Can you believe this?" Yeah, I can. When the good guy wins, what a gift. What a gift it is. So I want you to be that good guy that wins. And I want you, if you ever have any questions, to reach out to my office so that we can help you. Are we perfect? No. We're all humans. But you know what? We do our damnedest to make sure that you are well represented and well taken care of and ethically treated. So thank you very much.
That was great, but we have one more speaker, last but not least. We have Paul. He is Consumer Affairs, which I think some of you would rather not know, but he's really been great. He's been very good to us. Paul.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Paul Winnick. I'm Senior Investigator for Consumer Affairs / Protection, and I'm also the senior in the department. My two former bosses were both vets, disabled vets. I am a disabled vet. And there's some people in the audience here from the American Legion that I recognize. I want to thank you for coming out. One of the things I want to tell you people, I've had a lot of experience in the years that I've been on this earth with the Veterans Commission. There is nothing like Ocean County. I've been dealing, and when I was in Essex County, working up and living up in Essex County, I spent days trying to get help from the Veterans Commission. And at that time, I would sit there for 8 hours a day and just leave. I see some people shaking their heads. They're aware of that. In Ocean County, things get done. Phil is unbelievable. The freeholders that you have, you just can't. I've worked in 3 different counties. There is nothing like Ocean County, how they care about the veterans and how they care about seniors, which I'm one of them. What happens is we work very close with Phil's office. Once a veteran comes into our office and we feel that it's a legitimate complaint, we give them the papers to fill out and we assign a case number. Now that case number makes it legit. We have the authority to go to any department in the United States to get information. We work close with Phil, and being a disabled vet, I can't tell you how our department works hard for the veterans. And Ocean County, Toms River was the first one to vote to bring the VA into Bricktown. I was on the committee to do that. Now we have this beautiful hospital, our beautiful clinic going to be built right next to our office in Toms River. Wait till you see it. You're all welcome to come visit. But I just can't tell you enough about the Freeholder Board and the people we have as our elected officials that work with us and really, really feel it in here. It's not just yak, yak, yak. They do the job. They get things done. All right, so I'm just going to tell you, Consumer Affairs / Protection, and we go after these people. They're nonstop. We'll hit every agency, the IRS, all the agencies once we catch somebody like that, make them pay. All right, I'm not going to talk long because we've had good coverage. And Judy is standing right next to me. So she's going to slap me upside the head if I start talking. But Gary, I want to thank you for everything you've done. You too, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. He is a very important man. He is Consumer Affairs. Again, I want to thank you all. Anyone that needs any information or help, feel free to come to the back. Right, Phil? If there's any questions, are there any questions you would like to ask right now to Phil? Phil, you want to come back up?
82 Lacey Road. 82 Lacey Road. It's the EMT building, Manchester EMT building. And we're there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay? I thought when we first opened that office that it would be Pension Central, right? That's what I thought. I was wrong. It turned out to be Camp Lejeune Central. There are a lot of Marines here, you know? So I'm like, okay, all right, that took me by surprise, but I'm glad we're here. And I'm glad we're able to provide the services that we're doing out there, and providing the community out there. So I'm really happy that we're there, and hopefully we'll get one day we may be there 5 days a week. It all depends upon demand, you know, and also if I get more staff, that's the biggest thing. But these are difficult economic times, so got to tuck in the belt a little bit and do the best we can. But we do a good job. Anything else? Well, thank you for being here, Thank you for being here. And then, like I said, I need you to be Rula Lenska. I got you, you tell two people, they tell two people, and so on and so on and so on. The more people who know, the more people are protected. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope this information was very helpful. Okay. Also, the center has an information form. If you ever want any information, put your name and email, and they will get back to you right away. You can fill it out. But I hope this was all helpful to everyone. I hope you listened, pass the word on. Again, anyone that needs help, go to the back table. Thank you again. Have some more cake and coffee. Thank you very much, and have a great day.